Good evening to all of you. First, let me know is audio, video both are okay? Are we good to go? So first, let me know is audio and video both are okay? Yes. So how are you all? Last class, we have discussed the first foundation class of the PPB, Principles and Practices of Banking, in which we have discussed what are the type of banking institutions are there, right? So we have discussed first the financial institutions, then another financial institution, we have discussed the banking institutions and the non-banking financial institution. So we were discussing the banking institution in the last class, okay? So let's revise a little bit, then we will go forward. First of all, let me know what are the schedule banks. What are the schedule banks? PPB bilingual is going to be there at the 9 p.m. at the same time, but in the different batch. That's an English medium batch. That's not a bilingual batch. Bilingual class is available there. Bilingual is available. You have to go and search the bilingual batch. Okay. In the application, you can search the bilingual batch that will be available. This is an English medium batch. Okay. So, schedule banks are those banks which are right now in the second schedule. Okay. So, those banks which are in the second schedule of RBI Act 1934, those banks are known as your schedule bank. Okay, those banks are known as your schedule bank. So there are certain criteria for the schedule bank. That is, first you have to maintain the CRR and SLR, and the second is minimum paid up capital should be your 5 lakh. In that situation, you will be able to known as a schedule bank. If I talk about non-schedule bank, what are the non-schedule bank? Non-schedule banks are those banks which are actually the banks who are not in the second schedule of RBI Act 1934, and these are the banks which are not maintaining the CRR SLR, as well as these are the banks which do not have a minimum paid up capital of 5 lakh. That is known as your non-scheduled banks. So in India, there are only 3 non-scheduled banks, that is your local area banks. Apart from that, we have discussed under the scheduled commercial banks, under the scheduled bank, we have commercial bank, non-commercial bank and the cooperative bank. So first, let me know how many types of commercial banks are there. How many types of commercial banks are there? So the commercial bank, non-commercial bank and cooperative banks are the types of the schedule bank. The commercial banks are those banks which are working for the profit, and they provide all kinds of banking services to the customer, like deposit, withdrawal, lending, check clearance, demand draft, locker facility, everything will be available in the commercial bank. Okay. Now do let me know how many types of commercial banks are there. Three types are there. Very good. Bilingual batch is a different batch. This is not a bilingual batch. Again, I am repeating. Those candidates who are the part of the bilingual batch, this is not a bilingual batch. This is the English medium batch in which we will be starting the PPB. Okay, we have started the PPB. Both are the different. The PPB, bilingual and English medium, both have the same time at the 9 p.m. Okay, but these are the two different batches. Class, maybe Praveen sir today is on leave, maybe that's why there is no class showing to all of you. Okay, the class is not reflecting live, it means sir is not on, sir is not available. Okay. Okay. So let's continue. The foundation classes will be till Friday. Till Friday we will have foundation classes. So how many types of commercial banks are there? 3 types of commercial banks are there. First we have public sector bank, then we have private sector bank, and then we have foreign bank. Okay, public, private and foreign, these are the 3 types of the commercial banks. Okay, these are the 3 types of commercial bank. Now the non-commercial banks are what banks? What are the non-commercial banks? These are the banks which are actually not working for the profit. They are doing the development work for the country and they provide the loan for a particular sector like NABARD, SIDBI, NHB, Exim Bank. All these are the banks which are providing loan for a development of a particular sector. Like NABARD is providing for the agriculture rural development. That's how the other development banks are also working, and these banks are known as non-commercial bank. So we have discussed the commercial bank. Under the commercial we have discussed public sector, private sector, foreign bank. Then we have discussed the non-commercial bank, and today we are going to discuss about the cooperative bank. So let's start the cooperative bank first. So let's start with the cooperative bank. So how many cooperative banks are there? First of all, if we talk about the cooperative banks are working for the development of agriculture sector. They are mainly working for the agriculture sector. These are the banks which are known as cooperative bank. Now there are three types of cooperative bank is there. First we have primary credit society. We have primary credit society. Okay. Second we have district central cooperative bank. Second, we have district central cooperative banks, and third we have state cooperative banks. Third we have state cooperative banks. So state cooperative banks will be represented as SCBs. The district central cooperative bank will be represented as DCCB. The primary credit society will be represented as PCS. Okay, so these are the three types of cooperative banks which are right now working. So their main motive is to develop the agriculture sector. Their main motive is to develop the agriculture sector, to provide loan to the agriculture sector. That's why the public sector cooperative banks are working. Okay, now let's start with the primary credit society. Let's understand what are the difference between these three. So we have primary credit society, we have district central cooperative banks, we have state cooperative banks. If I talk about the primary credit society, these are the primary credit society which are working at the village level, So these are the banks, these are the societies which are at the village level developing the agriculture sector. Okay, they provide the short-term loan. They provide in the agriculture the short-term loan to the people for the agriculture development, right? Apart from that, if I talk about district central cooperative banks, they are working at the district level. And they provide medium and long-term loan. Clear? And if I talk about state cooperative banks, what are state cooperative banks? They are working at the state level. They are also known as Apex Bank. And these state cooperative banks are the banks which do not deal with the public. They regulate the primary credit societies and district central cooperative banks of a particular district. So every district will have a state cooperative bank, and all these state cooperative bank will be known as your Apex Bank, and these Apex Bank will be regulating your primary credit society and district central cooperative banks. I hope it is clear. So when it comes to the primary credit societies, they are providing loan to the agriculture sector, and the reason for providing loan to purchase the, let's say for example, seeds, to purchase the fertilizers. To purchase these, they will be providing loan of up to 50,000. So up to 50,000 loan will be given by the primary credit society to purchase the seeds and fertilizers. Okay. If I talk about the district central cooperative banks, these are providing loan to purchase, let's say the medium term category is providing loan to purchase the tube well. Okay, or we can say they are providing loan to purchase a certain machinery. They are providing to purchase like tractor. So they provide loan more than 50,000 and up to 5 lakh. Okay, they provide the loan for more than 50,000 and up to 5 lakh under the medium category. Under the long term category, if you want to go with the long term category, let's say you want to purchase a land and the loan will be more than 5 lakh. So 5 lakh plus loan if you required, you can go to the district central cooperative bank. They will be providing the long term loan. So the short term loan will be there up to 50,000, medium term loan will be there more than 50,000 up to 5 lakh, and then the long term loan will be more than your 5 lakh plus. So you want to purchase a land or you want to purchase a certain equipment which is costing more than 5 lakh, then you can take the long term loan under the district central cooperative bank. Okay, and the state cooperative bank do not deal with the public, they deal with the primary credit society and district central cooperative banks of that particular state. Clear? Let me know, is it clear to all of you? Till now everything is clear to everyone. Let me know, is there any doubt? Okay. Now the next thing is, there is a question, there will be a term that is your urban cooperative bank. So if I talk about the primary cooperative, if I talk about primary cooperative banks, so these primary cooperative banks are known as your urban cooperative banks. These are known as your sorry, these are known as your urban cooperative bank. Urban cooperative bank. And what these banks are doing, these banks will be operated in urban areas. These banks will be operated in urban areas, or you can say in the semi-urban areas. In the semi-urban areas. Okay, that will be known as your primary cooperative banks or urban cooperative bank, you can say it. Clear? Now, if I talk about what these banks are doing, these banks primarily lend to the small borrowers and the businesses which are centered on communities or neighborhoods or at the workplace group. So, they mainly provide loan to these categories only, and they are the banks which are working at the primary cooperative banks. They are working at the primary cooperative level. Okay, these are the urban cooperative banks. Clear? So this is what the cooperative banks are doing, and this is how it works. This is how they works. Now, next we have a nationalized bank. Next type of banks we have a nationalized bank. Next we have a nationalized bank. Now, what is nationalized bank? Let me know. If I talk about the nationalized bank, what are the nationalized banks? What are the nationalized banks? This is not a Hindi medium batch, so I can't use the Hindi. This is an English medium batch. In last PPB got 63 marks, now will prepare or not? You don't have to prepare PPB now. Okay, you clear the PPB, you have to give the rest 3 exams. Rest 3 papers, that is Indian economy, Indian financial system, AFM and your retail banking. You don't have to repeat the PPB. Okay. Now, bilingual live class is not available because sir will be on leave. It will be tomorrow available for all of you. Okay, now what is the nationalized bank? These are the banks which used to be the private banks. These are the banks which used to be the private banks, but the 51% shares or more than 51% shares. Okay, I can say the 51% shares or more than 51% shares. 51 or more than 51% shares has been purchased by Government of India, has been purchased by government. Now that bank will be known as nationalized bank. That bank will be known as nationalized bank. So nationalized banks are those banks which used to be the private bank, but the Government of India has purchased the 51% shares or more than 51% shares. Those banks are known as nationalized bank. Okay, so government has purchased the batch. The government has purchased the shares of a bank. That's why it became the nationalized bank. Okay. Now if I talk about the nationalized bank, these are the banks which used to be private, now they are government. So they has been nationalized under a certain act. That act is known as Bank Nationalization Act. We have a Bank Nationalization Act. So under the Bank Nationalization Act 1969, in 2 years we have nationalized the bank. Okay, the first nationalization happened in which particular year? 1969. The first nationalization happened in the year 1969 and the second nationalization happened in the year 1980. Okay, clear? Let me know. So nationalized banks are simply the banks which used to be the private, but it has been purchased by the government of India. So now they became the government's bank. So 51% shares or more than 51% shares when purchased by government, those bank will be known as nationalized bank. And in our country, the nationalization has been done under the Bank Nationalization Act 1969. The first nationalization happened in the year 19th July 1969. On 19 July 1969, we have nationalized the 14 major commercial banks. The 14 major commercial banks has been nationalized there. Okay, 14 major commercial banks were nationalized there. And on the second nationalization happened on 15th April 1980. The 15th April 1980, we have done the second nationalization and the 6 major commercial banks were nationalized then. 6 major commercial banks were nationalized then. Okay, so the total 20 nationalized banks used to be there, but now at present we have only 11 nationalized banks. Now present we have how many nationalized banks? We have only 11 nationalized banks because the rest banks has been merged. So now we have only 11 nationalized banks. One we have State Bank of India, and these 12 banks make the public sector bank. These 12 banks make the public sector bank in the country. Okay, these are the public sector bank of our country. So how many public sector banks are there? 11 public sector banks are there. Clear? So we have discussed what is scheduled bank, what is non-scheduled bank, what is commercial bank, what is public sector, private sector and foreign bank. Then we have discussed what is nationalized bank. We have covered non-commercial bank, we have covered cooperative bank, we have covered local area banks. Now next type of banks are RRBs, regional rural banks. Next types of banks are RRBs, that is regional rural banks. Next we have regional rural banks, that is RRBs. We have RRBs. Okay, regional rural banks. Now why we have created RRBs? Why SBI is different? SBI is different because SBI has never been nationalized. The share of SBI has never been purchased by Government of India. SBI was created from the presidency banks. Initially there used to be 3 presidency banks that has been amalgamated and created a imperial bank of the country, that is known as Imperial Bank of India. And the Imperial Bank of India, under the Imperial Bank of India, the Government of India already had 51% share. So we never purchase the share of the bank. So that's why the SBI is not a nationalized bank. SBI is a public sector bank because the maximum shareholding bank has been started by the Government of India. That's why SBI is not a nationalized bank. Clear? Like if I talk about, there is a difference in the nationalized bank and in the public sector bank. What is the difference? Let's understand that. That's a confusing thing for many candidates. So there is a nationalized bank and there is a public sector bank. If I talk about the public sector bank, we say that public sector banks are those banks where the government has 51% shares or more than 51% shares. That's a public sector bank. The same thing we are saying in the nationalized bank, that the government have the 51% shares and more than shares with the government. But the difference is that in the nationalized bank, the bank used to be the private bank. And these private banks has been purchased by Government of India. That's why they become the nationalized bank. Now in case of public sector bank, it can be any condition. It can be that it will be purchased. There is a chances that the bank has been purchased by government, or there is a chances second that it has been established by government. It has been established by government. It doesn't matter it is a purchased bank or it is established by the government of India only. It doesn't matter. But if there is more than 51% shares or the 51% share with government of India, that bank will be known as public sector bank. But when it will be known as nationalized bank, it will be nationalized only and only when the bank used to be the private bank and then it has purchased by the government. After the purchasing of 51% shares or more than 51% shares, then it will be a nationalized bank. Clear? Let me know. Let me know the difference between nationalized and public sector is clear. Is it clear? यार ये स्क्रीन चली गई थी फिर आ गई क्यों हो गया था ऐसा चलो clear. So see, if I talk about the nationalized bank, what is nationalized bank? Nationalized bank is simply the banks which used to be the private bank. The government of India has purchased the share of the bank 51% or more than 51%. Then it became a nationalized bank. So nationalized banks are only those banks in which government of India has purchased 51% shares or more than 51% shares. Now what is public sector banks? Public sector banks are those banks in which government of India has 51% shares or more than 51% share. Whether it has been purchased by the government or whether it has been established by the government. Let's take an example here. For example, there is a XYZ bank. There is a XYZ bank and there is a Axis Bank. Okay. So our Axis Bank is what type of bank? It's a private bank. Axis Bank is a private bank. Okay. So Axis Bank's 70% shares has been purchased by Government of India. Axis Bank 70% shares has been purchased by Government of India. And the XYZ banks has been established. This bank has been established by Government of India with 70% shareholding. So these are the two banks. Now let me know to which bank you will call nationalized bank and to which bank you will call public sector bank. Which bank is nationalized, which bank is public sector? Let me know. XYZ is public sector bank. Okay, very good. XYZ bank is a public sector bank because it has been established by Government of India. And what is Axis Bank? Axis Bank is very good. It is a nationalized bank. Axis Bank is a nationalized bank. But can this nationalized bank will be a part of your public sector bank? Yes. The Axis Bank will be known as nationalized bank because it used to be private. Now it became the government's bank because government has purchased the 51% shares. But this is also known as public sector bank. Why it is a public sector bank? Because the 51% shares or more than 51% shares is with Government of India. Okay, so I hope now the difference is clear to all of you. So nationalized banks are those banks in which 51% shares or more than 51% shares has been purchased by the government under a particular private bank. That's a nationalized bank. Public sector bank is a type of bank in which the Government of India has 51% shares or more than 51% share, whether it is purchased by the government or whether it is itself established by the Government of India. Let me know, is it clear? Let me know everyone. Madam, can public sector bank be privatized by government? Yes. Obviously, public sector bank can be privatized by the Government of India. You can see IDBI bank. IDBI used to be the public sector bank. It became the private sector bank because LIC has purchased it. So the public sector bank can be privatized. Hello Jayaprakash sir. Ma'am, I have a doubt. What is your doubt? Do let me know. Rajan sir, what is your doubt? Clear? So should I move forward? Should I go forward? So these are the difference between public sector and private sector. Okay. Now we were discussing about the RRB. Now we were discussing about the RRB. Now what is RRB? RRB stands for Regional Rural Bank. What is RRB? It stands for Regional Rural Bank. Do let me know what is the Regional Rural Bank has been introduced. Why we have established the Regional Rural Bank? Why we have established the RRBs? Let me know. Why we have introduced RRBs? Access is private banker, not. Prasanthi, what you are trying to say? To uplift the rural economy. Very good. You can't say to develop the agriculture sector. To develop the agriculture sector, we already have commercial bank. Commercial banks are providing loan to the agriculture sector also under the priority sector lending. So why RRB has been specifically introduced? RRB has been specifically introduced to uplift the rural economy. To uplift the rural economy, we have introduced the RRBs, Regional Rural Bank. Okay, to uplift the rural economy, we have introduced the RRB, Regional Rural Bank. Okay, now the RRB Act came in the year, the RRB Act came in the year 1976. But if I talk about the first RRB, the first RRB was established on 2nd October 1975. On 2nd October 1975, we have established the RRB, and that RRB was Prathama Gramin Bank. That was the Prathama Gramin Bank which was introduced or which was established in the Moradabad, UP. Okay, so the first RRB was Prathama Gramin Bank. The first RRB was Prathama Gramin Bank. Clear? That was in the Moradabad, UP. So if I talk about the shareholding of RRB, if I talk about the shareholding of RRB, what is the shareholding of RRB? The RRB shareholding is with central government. Then it has a shareholding with the state government. And then it has a shareholding with the sponsored bank. A sponsored bank. Okay. So it has with the central government, state government and sponsored bank. And that is 50% with central government, 15% with the state government and 35% with the sponsored bank. So sponsored banks are those banks which are providing finance to the bank. Those banks are known as a sponsored bank. The maximum RRBs has been sponsored by RRB, State Bank of India. Okay. Now, there are certain states which don't have RRB, like the Goa and Sikkim. Goa and Sikkim are the two states where there is no RRB, there is no regional rural bank. Clear? So RRBs was introduced for upliftment of the rural economy. And if I talk about the RRBs, Goa and Sikkim don't have RRB. Right now around 43 RRBs are there, which are trying to uplift the Indian economy with the help of your financial inclusion also. Okay. Now what is financial inclusion? Let me know. What is financial inclusion? What is financial inclusion? Sponsored bank can be any public sector bank, Shweta ma'am. Like it can be PNB, it can be SBI, it can be Bank of Baroda, it can be Bank of India, it can be any bank. Okay? Any public sector bank can become the sponsored bank. Banking to everyone, education regarding finance bank, joining people with bank, reaching bank services to remote areas. Okay, what about rest? Those people who are watching us on the YouTube, you can also answer the questions. Schemes by government through financially include all who aren't banking, aren't linked with the banking, you can say. Okay. So if I talk about the financial inclusion, what is financial inclusion? Financial inclusion is very simple. It's a process. What is financial inclusion? It's a process. It's a process to link each and every person. To link each and every person. Okay, with financial product and services, with financial products and services at an affordable cost. At an affordable cost. At an affordable cost. So this is known as your financial inclusion. This is your financial inclusion. So what is financial inclusion? Financial inclusion simply means to link each and every person with the financial product and services at an affordable cost. Okay, like we have introduced the zero balance account, the no frills account we have introduced. Why we have introduced the no frills account? Because the people were not able to maintain the minimum deposit. That's why we have introduced the no frills account. That's why we have introduced the zero balance account, so that people will be linked with the bank or the financial product and services at an affordable cost. Affordable cost means the kind of expenses the person can be able to spend. Okay, that is known as financial inclusion. Achha, financial inclusion has been started in our country from which year? From which year we have started financial inclusion in our country? Let me know. Two 2014, 2015. What about rest? 2013. Okay. No, actually we have started financial inclusion from the year 2005 only. Like in the first time, if I talk about the first time, the term financial inclusion was introduced by RBI governor, former governor Mr. Y.V. Reddy in the 2005 report of RBI. So in the 2005, we have introduced the no frills account. The no frills account was introduced in the year 2005. Okay, and these no frills account has been converted under the basic saving bank deposit account in the year 2012. Then the majority of success we got in the financial inclusion when the Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana was introduced in the year 2014. So we have started from here actually. The first time financial inclusion term was used in the year 2005 annual report by RBI former governor Mr. Y.V. Reddy. Okay, but if we talk about the financial inclusion without the name, we were trying to do the financial inclusion from 1969. In 1969, we have done the nationalization. In 1969, we have done the nationalization. In 1969, we have introduced the lead bank scheme. Okay, in 1975, we have introduced the RRB. So, all these were the approach to link each and every person with the bank or financial services. But the actual term has been started in the year 2005 with the no frills account. Clear? So, do remember this. All the schemes of Government of India right now working, they are directly or indirectly trying to link each and every person with the financial product and services. It means they are helping us to do the financial inclusion. Clear? Prachi ma'am, the first class happened on 13th of January. You can find the 13th of January recording. Okay, the first class happened on 13th, second happened on 16th, and then on the 17th today. There is a changes, Hemlata ma'am, there is a changes in PPB syllabus. The subject has been became very vast now. So the old syllabus, totally old syllabus is there, but the certain new topics has been added. Okay. Also tomorrow in the morning, I will be coming with the new versus old syllabus of your PPB subject, that will be at the 7 a.m. Okay, so do not forget to join that session. You will be knowing that what syllabus has been changed in comparison to old and new. Okay, the lot of new topics has been added in the syllabus. Let me know, is it clear? Financial inclusion is clear. So now we have a different next type of banks, that is payment banks and the small finance bank. We have payment bank and a small finance bank. Payment bank and a small finance bank is there. No, Jandan Yojana was introduced on 2014, in 2014, sorry. The Mr. Narendra Modi became the Prime Minister in 2014, so he has introduced the Jandan Yojana on 15th of August 2014, and the scheme was launched on 28th August 2014. Okay, on 28th of August we have introduced, in the year 2014 we have introduced the Jandan Yojana, and it was announced by Mr. Modi on 15th August 2014. Okay, Srinivas sir. So let's continue. So this was the payment bank and small finance bank we are talking about. So first of all, there are certain categories we are going to understand according to that. So the payment bank and small finance bank, these two banks has been introduced by RBI for the purpose of financial inclusion. What was the purpose to introducing these banks? The purpose was to do the financial inclusion. To do the financial inclusion, we wanted to link more and more people with the bank and financial institution. So the reason behind to introducing these two banks was doing financial inclusion. Okay, which committee has been which committee introduced these? So first of all, if I talk about the committee for payment bank was Nachiket More committee. Nachiket More committee was there. And the small finance bank, we had the Usha Thorat committee. So these are the two committees which has introduced the payment bank and small finance bank in our country. Okay, now the initial capital to required to open these bank is, the initial capital required to open the payment bank and small finance bank is, in the payment bank we need the 100 crore capital. Okay, in the payment bank we need 100 crore capital. That is the initial capital required to start the payment bank. In a small finance bank, you need a 200 crore capital to start the small finance bank. In the year 2015, when it was introduced, it used to be 100 crore, but now it has increased to 200 crore. Okay, that's the initial capital required for the small finance bank. Now, next is, this is payment bank and this is a small finance bank. Okay, and there will be a categories. Now the next category will be, we have, first of all, if I talk about the category, so deposit limit is there. A certain deposit limit is there. So how much amount of deposit can be maintained under the payment bank? Let me know. What amount of deposit can be done by the customer under the payment bank? One lakh, 2 lakh, two options are coming, 1 and 2. 50,000, no. The right answer is 2 lakh. Up to 2 lakh can be deposited under the payment bank. Okay, and this has been changed in the year April 2021. In April 2021, RBI has increased the limit to take deposit from the in the payment banks. Okay, it used to be in 2015 it used to be 1 lakh. In 2015, when the payment banks was introduced, it was 1 lakh. In the year 2021, we have increased it to 2 lakh. Okay. No such kind of conditions is there in the small finance bank. Whatever deposit we want, we can make deposit in the small finance bank. Prachi, today there is no class. Okay. Next. So next is type of accounts. Types of accounts. If I talk about the payment banks, in the payment bank only CASA can be opened, current account and savings account. In a small finance bank, CASA and RAFA, all the 4 types of account can be opened, current account, savings account, recurring account and fixed account. Clear? Okay. Now the next thing is loan category. If I talk about a small finance bank, there is no deposit limit. There is no deposit limit required under the small finance bank. There is no limit. Whatever deposit we want, we can deposit that amount of money in the small finance bank. Okay. Now next, if I talk about the loan category, the loan category will be different for the payment bank and small finance bank. In case of loan, the payment bank cannot provide the loan. Okay. The payment bank cannot provide the loan, so they cannot provide loan to public. Payment banks cannot provide loan to public. Okay. So if the payment banks are not giving loan to public, then what happens? Then what happens? From where the payment bank will earn money? Like for example, the banks are accepting deposit and banks are using that deposit to provide loan to the another person, and that's how banks generates the income. But we are saying that the payment bank cannot give loan to public. Now from where they can earn money? From where these persons or these banks will be able to earn money? No, there is an option to deposit. What I have written here, there is no limit. It means no limit is there. You can deposit your money in the small finance bank, whatever you amount wants. Okay. Like if you want to deposit 1 lakh, 2 lakh, 3 lakh, it's upon you. You can deposit money, but there is no limit on the deposit, such as like payment bank. In payment bank, you can only deposit 2 lakh. No such kind of limit is there in the small finance bank. Okay. Don't confuse us like that. Deposit is not allowed. Deposit is allowed, but the limit is not there. Okay. They deposit those money with RBI. Payment bank and small finance bank, I have written in the first line, the purpose to introduce these banks was the financial inclusion. Okay, Priyanka ma'am. Deposit in other bank and earn interest from them. Earn interest from them whom? They deposit those money with RBI. Acha, RBI takes deposit and provides interest. If this is a function of Reserve Bank of India, then RBI can take deposit and will provide interest on the deposit. So have you heard these type of function of RBI? First of all, payment bank cannot give loan to the public. They can only invest in, government securities. They can only invest in government securities because these government securities are risk-free securities. Now what happens actually, how the banks works? Like bank accepts deposits and bank give loan of this deposit to the another customer. Okay. Now if the customer is not repaying the loan, then how bank will survive? Okay. So other commercial banks will keep taking the deposit from the customers and they keep giving loan to the customers. So if a certain customers are not providing loan, still the commercial bank have the option, they can collect deposit from the other customer. But in case of payment bank don't have that option. They have only option to accept the 2 lakh deposit from the customer. If they have provided the loan of 2 lakh and the customer has not repaid the 2 lakh rupee loan, then how bank will survive? That's why RBI has said that the payment banks cannot provide loan to the customer. They cannot provide loan to the customer. They can only invest in the government securities because there is a guarantee. In the government securities, there is a guarantee that your money will be returned definitely after a certain maturity period with a fixed rate of interest. When you are investing in the government security, that's a risk-free investment and you will get a particular rate of interest in the government securities. So that's the confirmation that you will get the money back. Clear? Yes or no? Let me know, is it clear? So, a small finance bank provides the loan. A small finance bank provides the loan, but they focus more on agriculture sector. They focus more on rural areas. They focus more on small medium enterprises. So they have to focus more while they are providing loan to the agriculture sector, rural area and SMEs. Okay. So they can provide loan to the individual person, that is maximum of 10% and the group maximum of 15%. So the individual customer, if coming to the small finance bank to get the loan, so they will be getting maximum 10% of loan, and the group, if the group is coming to take loan from the small finance bank, they will be getting maximum of 15% of loan. Like 15% or 10% of what? 15 and 10% of your total capital which is available to provide the loan. Okay, so whatever total capital bank will have to provide loan, out of that total capital, 10% loan can be given to the individual category, it means the individual person, and the 15% loan can be given to the group. Clear? Like why we have introduced the small finance bank? So that all the individual will be able to get the funds. Hana, the financial inclusion purpose. Let's say for example, Mr. Anil Ambani went to the small finance bank and he is asking for the 100 crore loan, and that was the total capital of the small finance bank, and the small finance bank have given the total 100 crore loan to the Mr. Anil Ambani. Now what happens? The small businessmen will not get again the opportunity to get the credit. That's why the limit has been given to individual maximum 10% and to the group you can give maximum 15% of loan. Not more than that is allowed. Clear? I have given the example also. Is it clear now? Those who are watching us on the YouTube, if you have any doubts regarding the topic, you can ask. Okay? Or do let me know, is it clear whatever we have discussed? Yes, Paytm is a payment bank. Okay, clear to all. Now the next conditions under the payment bank and small finance bank is this. This is a payment bank, a small finance bank. Then we have a category ATM/debit card. ATM/debit card. So payment bank will be provided ATM or debit card. Small finance bank will be providing both. Okay. If I talk about the credit card, the credit card will not be provided by the payment bank, but the small finance bank can give the credit card. Okay. If I talk about the PSL, what is PSL? Priority sector lending. The priority sector lending, or I can say the priority sector loan, will not be given by the payment banks, but it will be given by the small finance bank, and they have to give 75% of their capital to the priority sector. They have to give 75% of the loan or of your capital to the priority sector. Clear? Not about the project, not according to the project, Kritika, sorry, right, Hana. So what happens here? First of all, if I talk about the 10% maximum loan given to the individual person, it means whatever amount has been there by the bank, which has been asked by the customer, out of that you will be given 10% only. Okay, and in the same case, in the group of people when the group of people are coming to get the loan for the business purpose or any other purpose, then you can give the maximum 15% of loan, not more than that. Clear? And the payment banks will be not giving the PSL loan because they are not providing loan to the customer. That's why there is no PSL category target for the payment banks. Now, apart from that, the next category will be of payment bank, small finance bank, FDI, foreign direct investment. So foreign direct investment is allowed in the payment banks. It is also allowed in the small finance bank. Now what is foreign direct investment? Whenever the foreign company invests a more than 10% share in an Indian company, that will be known as foreign direct investment. So whenever a foreign company is investing more than 10% capital in the Indian company, that will be known as FDI, foreign direct investment. So in case of payment bank, in case of a small finance bank, 74% investment is allowed from the foreign company under the payment bank and a small finance bank. Okay. Now, if I talk about the payment bank, a small finance bank, the conditions has been given to them. What conditions have been given? That they have to do what? They have to fulfill this condition, and the condition is that 25% branches, 25% branches should be open in unbanked rural areas. So the 25% branches they have to open in unbanked rural areas. This is the condition that has been given to the payment bank and a small finance bank. Okay. Acha, which first bank was introduced as a payment bank? The name of the first payment bank is? Let me know. Very good. Airtel Payment Bank. Okay, it was the Airtel Payment Bank. The first payment bank was Airtel Payment Bank. Now, the first small finance bank was? The first small finance bank was? Very good. Capital Local Small Finance Bank. It is the Capital Local Small Finance Bank. That's the Capital Local Small Finance Bank. Clear? So, this is how we have completed all the types of banks or the banking institution in the country. I hope everything is clear to everyone. Do let me know, is there any doubt? So, here we have completed the types of banks. Okay. So, we have done this part of our syllabus. We have done this part of your syllabus. So, we have completed here this one part. That is the banking institution. We have completed banking institution. I hope it is clear to everyone. Ebook and test series is not available right now. As you know, on the 14th of January, the syllabus came. Okay. So, it will take a little bit more time to provide the ebooks and test series. Don't worry, already team is working on that. You will get that. Okay. So, this is, we have completed banking institution. In next class, we will be covering the non-banking financial institution. That will be covering all India financial institution. It will be covering non-banking financial companies and the primary dealers. All these will be covered under the non-banking financial institution. Okay. Now, let's continue. So, this is the information for all of you right now, that if you have not enrolled in the target batch, those who are watching us on the YouTube, if you have not enrolled in the target batch, so these are the two target batches which started from 13th of January. Okay. In these two batches, we have started Indian economy and Indian financial system, as well as the PPB, principles and practices of banking. Right now, 81% discount is going on. If you use the code Y496, you will get this particular discount. Okay. Apart from that, you will get the JAIIB CAIIB Mahapack with the double validity plus the 81% discount. Now, what is the difference between the target batch and the JAIIB CAIIB Mahapack? The difference is that in the target batch, you will be getting the conceptual classes of all the 4 subjects of the JAIIB. Okay. But when it comes to the Mahapack, in Mahapack, you will be covering the conceptual classes. Plus, in the future, the MCQ batch will be entered. The numerical batch will be covered. The revision batch will be covered. All the batches, like now your case study batches will be there at the time of exam. Different types of batches will be introduced, and all those batches will be covered in the Mahapack. So, you don't have to enroll again and again in the different types of bank. Everything will be covered under the Mahapack. And the right now Mahapack is having a double validity with the 81% off. So, you can get this discount also. Okay. So, I think the best option to enroll will be Mahapack. The reason behind it, because here you get the detail of all the things which is required to qualify the exam. Okay, let's say for example, if I am talking about I need a revision batch, that will be available in the Mahapack. Now, how to enroll? To enroll, you have to go to the Adda 24/7 website or application. If you have not downloaded the application, do download it, because 1% additional discount will be available from there. Okay. So, you can enroll in the JAIIB CAIIB. To enroll, you can go with the target batch. If you want to go with the target batch, just click on the JAIIB 23. If you want to go with the JAIIB CAIIB Mahapack, you can click on the JAIIB CAIIB Mahapack. So, here it is the target batch available for all of you. Okay. So, this is the Mahapack. Once again, something wrong happened. It's not working. Okay, thanks. So what you have to do, you have to click here, and after clicking here, you will find the particular page. Click on the buy now option, and at the buy now option, you have to enter a code, and that code will be your Y496. Okay, it started working. So this is the Mahapack. Okay, validity is 12 plus 12 month. It means 2 years validity is available in the JAIIB CAIIB Mahapack. You can read, it will be covering all the JAIIB classes. It will be covering all the CAIIB compulsory and elective paper. After reading all the details, what you have to go, you have to click on the buy now. When you click on the buy now, you will find it. Here, click on the buy now, enter a coupon code here, that will be Y496. And click on the apply. When you apply, you will find 80% discount is available, and the discount will be more than 1% that is available on the coins of the application. 2 years validity is there, 10,500 something you have to pay, and do remember this double validity plus the 81% discount is available till tonight only. After that, this offer will not be there, and the code to enroll will be Y496. This is the Mahapack. Can I upgrade in the JAIIB, CAIIB? Yes, you can upgrade, Srinivas sir. What you can do, you can mail to the support Adda ID, and you can request them to send you a link to upgrade the batch. Okay, so they will send you a link in which you have to pay the difference amount, and you will be getting the JAIIB, CAIIB Mahapack. Okay. From target, I paid the said amount in the link provided, but in the application it is not. It will be updated, Shweta ma'am, don't worry about it. It will be updated. If it is not updated within 24 hours, do mail the support ID again. Or if still they are not responding, do send me the screenshot of your purchase and your mail, the payment you have done, and send me the ticket number also which you have mailed to the support Adda. I will be sending that to the management. Okay. Yes, you can attend the JAIIB, CAIIB daily simultaneously because both the batches are different now. So you can join according to the timing. But there is no sense if you are going to give the JAIIB first, then don't attend the CAIIB right now, because JAIIB itself have a lot of syllabus. So that CAIIB classes will be available in your account as soon as you qualify the JAIIB. You can start watching the CAIIB classes. Okay, so don't go with the simultaneously. That will taking lot of time, and you will not be able to concentrate on the single paper. Clear? So this is how you can enroll. If you want to go with the target batch, the same process you have to use in the target batch. This is the target batch, English medium. You can click here, enter the code here, Y496. Do read all the details. Click on the buy now. After clicking on the buy now, you have to enter a code that will be Y496. Okay, and the same process you have to follow. The same process you have to follow here. Click on the apply. After applying, you will find here the 80% discount. 1% discount will be available from the application, and the offer is valid till tonight only. Offer is valid till tonight. So, from tomorrow morning, there will be no offer, and the code will be Y496. So, let's end the session here. Tomorrow, we will be covering the non-banking financial institution. If you still have any doubt, do make sure you watch the recording after this once again before the next class, so that if you have any doubt, you can ask. Okay. So I hope everything is clear. So let's end the session here. See you all tomorrow in the morning at 7 AM with the principles and practices of banking session, and then at the 8 AM with the Indian economy, Indian financial system session. These 2 morning sessions are English medium batch, English medium session. If you want to watch Indian economy, Indian financial system bilingual class, then you can come at the 7:30 on YouTube. Okay. So let's end the session here. Thank you for joining the session. Have a great time and good night to all of you. Take care.